Okay, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a land use map using Digimap for Schools. So Digimap for Schools is a geographical information system, also known as a GIS, and whilst it shows you the Ordnance Survey maps at a range of layers for the whole of the United Kingdom, you can actually also add data to Digimaps, which is why we call it a GIS, because you can add more layers of information. And in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add information about what is found in the different buildings, in this case of Crieff High Street. So to start with, you'll have to go down and map the land use, so actually gather information that tells us what all of these different buildings on the map are. And what we're now going to do is use this information to create our land use map. So the first thing to do is to go up on your screen and make sure you have zoomed in on Digimaps to this level. So I can just show you by using the scroll in and out function. That's how you can zoom in. And we're going to start by just adding some colors to our buildings. So once you've got the level that you want, let's say we know this is a school building, so it's used for education from our key. So if you've used the RiceBot system, you'll know it's P because it's a public building. It's an educational building. So we go to our drawing tool over here, and we're going to create what's known as a polygon to go around this building, and then we can change its color. So the layer you want to select is this button here, and you want to go down and actually choose the color. Now I'm going to turn my public building into a red color. So I'm going to have a red line, and I'm going to want it to fill with red as well. So I'm going to select red down here. So my line and my fill are going to appear as red. The next stage is to actually go over to the building I want to turn into a red polygon. So a polygon is just a multi-sided shape. As you can see from this, it's not a square or rectangle. And I'm just going to start clicking at each of the little junctures of the building that I'm wanting to turn into a polygon. Okay. Now, if you make any mistake, you can just undo it at any point. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. So a single click should allow you to come off. Sorry, double click, and I can now draw away. And I've made a mistake there, so I want to undo that. So if I just go to delete, so select that, and I'm going to delete it. Select that, and I'm going to delete that as well. So if we just try repeating that process again, first few times you do it, it's likely you're going to make a number of mistakes. So I've selected the polygon. I want it to be red, and I'm just going to click roughly around the building this time. I'm not going to go for this little bit down here. And now double click, and I can double click, and I can move away. There we are. And that's now become a red shape on top of the building. Now, all of these here are houses, so I want to turn them into shapes. This time I'm going to change my color. I'm going to go with green, like there. Just click on that bit there. So I've got a green line and a green fill. And I'm going to go around. These are quite simple little shapes to highlight, like that. Double click, and allows me to single click. There we are, pull away. I want to do the same with this building. And single click, and I can pull away. So I just would have gone around all of the buildings in this central area in Crieff and found out what's in all of these buildings. And now what I want to do is start going around adding a color and changing my color every time the land use changes. So anything that's a housing, I'm going to have as green. Anything that is a public building, like a school, I've got red. When I get down here to the high street, I want to change my color of my lines and my fills again to a third color, because these are obviously shops. And as I move further along the high street, I'm likely to find other buildings. Gradually, as you move through your map, you'll find you can zoom in and out, and it will stay there, and you'll fill more of this with the different colors. The only final thing you'd have to do, and you could do this at the end when you've completed your land use map, is to add your key, which actually tells what the different colors represent. Now, you could probably do that in a Google Doc. So I'm going to finish this off. I want to actually snip this and insert it into my Google Docs. So I've got the snip tool from doing a little search, and I'm just going to select a new snip, and I'm just going to drag it over the area that I want to cut, like that, and it will then snip that. Now I've gone with a shape that's like this. You can choose when you're snipping to go for a rectangle, which would, in this case, just do that. And then I'm ready to just hit the copy button, and I can place that in my Google Doc. Okay, so that is how to use Digimap to create a land use map by adding an additional layer where you highlight the buildings and then change the color of those buildings to represent that color then links to a key which tells you what the land use of the different buildings is.